Have a look at the front of the case. We never really got to do the tour of the outside because it went and opened itself for us. So at the front, you've got the usual brushed, plasticky looking finish that we've seen on the Define R series for quite some time, except, oh, what's this? It actually doesn't open at all. So these vents on the side here are going to be for your front intake, and they are actually quite spacious. You can look right through them like that. And other than that, that's nothing. There is no 5 1/4 inch bays. There is no opening up front door. On the top, you can see another cost-saving measure. So we've got front audio, a reset switch, a power switch that is illuminated, I believe. Yeah, looks like it. As well as 2 USB 3.0 ports, but no additional 2 USB 2.0 ports. Also on the top, we've got the same Moduvent system from the Define R5, so you can pop off 1, 2, or 3 of these, depending on how many fans you have installed on that side. And then around on the other side, we find not a whole lot of much of anything, and the same goes for the back. So let's go ahead and pop off this side panel, and hey, look at that, the fan's spinning itself. It's like a windmill. Oh, well, that was short-lived. All right. So on the back here, we've got, yes, where that 3 1/2 inch drive mounting cage would have wanted to go back to at some point here. If I can figure out, yeah, there we go. So it goes in a little something like that. No harm, no foul, Fractal Design. I forgive you for this thing falling out in shipping. International today. Do you have any idea how expensive that is? So back here, you've got your drive mounting options. I said no 5 1/4, but that doesn't mean that you can't actually mount a fair number of drives. You can do 3 3.5 inch or 2.5 inch drives on these cages with their connectors oriented towards this side. That allows you to plug them into the ample cable management room back here. So you can go ahead and sneak your SATA data and SATA power connectors in there. And then you can actually mount an additional 2 2.5 inch drives directly under the CPU socket area right here. So these also mount on little removable sleds. You screw them into that, you pop them into the back. Huge improvement over that one case. Was it the Define R4, I think, where you had to actually screw the SSD in from the other side of the motherboard. Another improvement is Fractal Design is now including these Velcro straps for cable management. You'll probably still need to use some zip ties, but it's much less of a huge deal once you've got at least a few reusable ones. Wouldn't mind seeing another one here. And I guess that's pretty much all there is to say about the back. There's enough room, even in the narrowest portion, for a 24-pin connector, as long as you don't cross too many things over top of it. But do factor in that on the inside of the side panel is that noise dampening material that we've seen on Fractal Design's other silence optimized cases. Something to note is if you want the windowed version, you do pay a little bit more, even though the funny thing is I'm pretty sure that a piece of acrylic is actually cheaper than the noise dampening material they're using, so I'm not quite sure if I understand the cost structure there. Back around to the front, you can put up to a triple 120 or triple 140 millimeter radiator into the filtered, there we go, let's see if we can figure out how to get that bad boy out, filtered front intake. Come out, you bastard. Oh. Right. Well, this is what happens when you try and figure these cases out in real time. Ha, it's magnetic. It's actually kind of smart. So it hinges on there, and then magnets on there. So what did I say? Yeah. triple 120s or triple 140s in the front, and then you can actually do up to a slim triple 140 or a thick triple 120 in the top as well. The reason for the slim requirement on the triple 140 is you're going to have issues with motherboard clearance, since those 140 millimeter radiators are going to go somewhere over in the neighborhood of, I think, like here-ish. I can't actually find the mounting holes. I'm not too stressed about it. I don't stress about things these days. So I think that's pretty much it. Who is this case for? Well, it's for water coolers who basically wanted to define R5 and want to save 10 or 20 bucks. Mission accomplished then, Fractal Design. Mission accomplished. Speaking of mission accomplished, Massdrop.com. They've got all kinds of great deals. If you've never heard of Massdrop, you should go check it out. We've got a link in the video description. We've probably also got a link in the lower third that's presumably sitting under me right now. But the whole idea behind it is members of their community find deals, and then Massdrop works directly with the manufacturers and suppliers to get authentic merchandise at lower prices. But there's a catch. There's the mass. So we got the drop. The price goes down. But the mass means the more people buy it, the lower the price goes to a predefined limit. We've actually got a featured drop for you guys today. Yes, we've got a Cooler Master V1200 power supply for as low as $239 shipped to the US. So that's an 80+ platinum 1200 watt power supply for a pretty significant discount. So again, guys, if you want to check out that deal or anything else on Massdrop.com, check out the link in the video description. And
Greetings viewers, Eric the Car Guy here, also known as ETCG1 on this here channel. How the heck are you? I want you to notice that I've left the drawers of my toolbox open because it annoys some people. Today's topic is actually a request by a viewer on Facebook. It was Matthew Raybarzik. I hope I said that correctly. If I didn't, I apologize. But Ray was asking me when I would touch on the subject of dealership politics. And I thought, well, why not now? No time like the present. Why don't we make this ETCG1 video about dealership politics? It's a tricky question, kind of a slippery slope, if you will. It involves many different aspects. And I'll just preface this by saying that at least for me, a lot of what I'm about to talk to you about is based on my 8 years as a dealership technician, and also a great deal on the comments that I get over at my forum, comments that I've seen on my videos, for those of you watching the show. So I'm trying to draw upon all of those experiences to put this together for you. And I've been trying to think of who this actually benefits, but I guess it's just you, the viewer. I was originally thinking, you know, I would try to sort of steer it towards a new technician maybe coming in, thinking about getting a job at a dealership and sort of, you know, giving them a little bit of perspective. So maybe you can take a little bit of that away from this, but it's bigger than that, because politics, I think that the definition of the word is people relations. And they, in a dealership situation, can be, well, a challenge, let's just say. And let's just lay the foundation like this. In several other videos, I've talked about how many technicians get paid, and that's by the flat rate system. And the flat rate system basically means that you get paid on what you do. So say you get an oil change that comes in, you get paid like, say, 2 to 3 tenths worth of an hour for that job, and that is, you know, you get paid X an hour. So you got a few dollars for doing an oil change. Doesn't matter if it took you a half an hour, doesn't matter if it took you 5 minutes, you're still going to get paid that 3 tenths or what have you. So in essence, technicians are working for every job that comes through their bay, or bays if they're fortunate enough to have more than one. Which creates an interesting situation, because when you come into the dealership, I've never seen one where you talk to technicians directly. I would say that's more the exception. 9 times out of 10, you're talking to a service writer or a service manager, or somebody that's going to type up or write up your problem, service, whatever you've brought the vehicle in for. So technicians don't deal directly with the customer base that's coming in, and as a result, they don't necessarily have control over the work that they do. Now, we all have strengths, we all have weaknesses, we all, you know, including myself, we all have things we like to do and things we don't necessarily like to do. There are also things at the dealership that make a lot of money and things that don't make a lot of money. For instance, say if you're doing service work oftentimes makes you a decent amount of money. And that's because you've done it several times, you can do it efficiently, and there's potential for upsell, such as a brake job or something else. So you could do quite well if you're getting services. On the flip side, if somebody brings something in for warranty or recall or something of that nature, those labor times are significantly reduced from the customer pay times. In fact, up to 50%, I would say. So say replacing part X on your vehicle bills 7 tenths of an hour as a warranty item. If it is customer pay, oftentimes it's 1.4. So the idea is to get as much customer pay work, as much quote-unquote easy or gravy work as possible by the end of the day, and avoid doing warranty work or any of those other type of work. One more thing you need to throw into the equation when you're talking about a dealership is the sales department. And salesmen may have technicians that they've come to rely on and do certain things for them. And in turn, those salesmen do certain things for those technicians, such as feed them work. And that work may be in the form of, you know, add-ons or upsells, like say a spoiler or a towing package or something like that that is a dealer add-on item to a particular vehicle. So that work can also pay quite well. And also working on brand new cars is oftentimes a lot easier than working on cars that have already rusted up on you. So when they're brand new, they come apart somewhat easier. Risk is a little bit higher, for if you break something, it gets kind of expensive and maybe hard to find. So you usually end up cannibalizing something that's out on a lot until a part comes in. Been there, done that. But all in all, that creates, I'm trying to create the whole atmosphere of what it is to be a dealership technician. Lastly, I'll add in, like, say, your car wash department. Maybe you have a car wash / detail department that when you're done servicing a vehicle, you send it over to them and they wash the car and then return it to the customer. I've even heard of places where technicians themselves have to wash the cars and have to deal with all that, perhaps at smaller dealerships and things. That wouldn't be so much fun, but the reason I mention them is because